Hello. If you're wondering where the light is, our light bulb burned out, so I'm sorry. If by the way, I'm sorry no videos last night. It's just I've been helping out my grandfather with the fence, what we're making, and me and my brother, and we've sort of been on the move a lot. But today I found time, and as far as Baba Cat goes, it's gonna happen. I have to think of more episode ideas, and so yeah. And as far as Cartoon Buff and Mr. Hat videos go, they will be made. We just need to get a new white bulb. So yeah. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that way. So I'm gonna do a quick history because this is sort of quick, anyways. The story is pretty big, but basically, Mr. Hat came out of I was, a second season, I guess you could say. I sort of do it in a season thing. But a second season of the Cartoon Buff sort of came up, and while I was doing it, I was trying to think what I could do, what else I could do, because I love cartoons, but I didn't just want to talk about cartoons. I wanted to have a little bit more variety. So I thought, okay, I would do movies. So trying to think of the character idea of it. I had this great character, of Doug Walker made, who's a nostalgia critic, but he also has this great character called Mr. Bum, and man, he's really funny. But if anybody hasn't seen Bum or the nostalgia critic, look them up. They're really good. But anyways, when I was thinking about it, okay, that's pretty cool, but I didn't really want him to be a bum, so obviously. So I thought of, okay, I'll make him somewhat of like a beatnik. Because if you know Mr. Hat, he sort of wears a really jazzy hat and he goes like, hey, we're gonna talk about this movie. And, and he doesn't really know what he's talking about. I thought that too, and I was reading Mad Magazine at the time, and I love Mad a lot. And I thought, well, I know I can make fun of movies and critics and stuff. And, I'm a critic. Everyone's a critic. So I thought, yeah. And I felt, well, he's not really making fun of his movies, even though he doesn't technically know what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about for him, at least. And if you think about it, he's almost talking of movies if they are like in some type of spiritual sense, because he's sort of a hippie beatnik guy, I oppose. But a great YouTuber, Ben Tannehill, had this character called Ben T. Looney, but he also had this other character called Looney T. Ben, what I really love, which is a really crazy character. And I sort of fold that in with Uri Daffy Duck. Well, all my characters are sort of inspired by Uri Daffy Duck some way. And I thought in the serial I was gonna have Cartoon Buff beat him up every time, just because I don't know. I wanted that character for Cartoon Buff to get under his skin. Basically, if you want to know, Mr. Hat is sort of a chillback goofball, if that makes sense. Cartoon Buff is somewhat goofball-y, but he's a little bit more of a wise guy. Mr. Hat's just a little bit of more of a, laid back goofball, and because of that, Cartoon Buff, Mr. Hat just sort of gets under Cartoon Buff's sin. He didn't really do anything bad to Cartoon Buff, it just sort of, And that idea I sort of took from Duckman. You know, where he would beat up the Puerto Rican bears and sometimes kill them, but he can always come back alive. So that's pretty much how I got it from. But yeah, I know that's a pretty quick history, but that's pretty much, it's not really as complex as the Cartoon Buff. But now was his videos easy? The Mr. Hat, Yeah, these videos are pretty easy. It's just randomness, I oppose. With movies I either like or don't like. By the way, I am planning to do my actual thoughts, because with the cartoon buff, I do have my thoughts. They're just sort of saturated, and with Mr. Hat, they're not real. I don't really have too much of my thoughts on those things in there. They're just really exaggerated. I mean, I may have some thoughts. Some of my thoughts in there are just really exaggerated. So, it's okay. So, have a good day and bye.